Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media bringing you another board game playthrough. This time I am playing Maximum Apocalypse. This is a fantastic game that basically has you trying to traverse a landscape after some sort of an apocalypse, depending on what monsters you want to fight. There's zombies, aliens, robots, vampires, Cthulhu, kaiju, the whole lot. Trying to scavenge, fulfill an objective, all that kind of good stuff. A little bit of resource management thrown in there just for good measure. Now, today's video, camera work is a bit dodgy. I entirely forget to use my character's special ability. I forget to use a deck altogether that I really wanted to play with, but that's beside the point. It's still a fun little game. Hopefully you'll get a feel for it. If you like it, fantastic. But it's just something to throw out there to tide you over until the next board game video. So, with that said, please follow Plaguelands Media on Facebook. Hit the subscribe button down below if you like what you see. Hit the subscribe button if you don't like what you see. Do it as a joke. Do it out of hilarity. Tell your friends, I subscribe to this guy's YouTube channel and he's a fucking idiot. It's all the same. You can follow Ian Van Gamut on Instagram. You can follow Darth Moot on Redbubble. You can actually go to Amazon and check out a few of the books we have published there in the Kindle store. Very reasonably priced, I might add. So, no preamble here at the very beginning. Just going to cheers everyone for 2021. And let's get this fucking shit to the table. Okay, so this is Maximum Apocalypse. I figured I would do a little bit of a setup video for today's one. I usually don't do the kind of game setup here, but I'll be using a few rules and I want to go over the scenario and everything with you. So, Maximum Apocalypse, fantastic little, I don't know how you describe it, exploration, objective-based game. So today I will be playing the scenario, the Vamp Vaccine, hard difficulty. Damn vamps spread like wildfire, took our world for themselves. Luckily, as time wore on, we figured out how to kill these creatures. Word is, this smarty pants may be able to cure their thirst. So what I have to do is collect an old book, an antidote, and a medical supplies, and I have to get the scientist here to the hospital. Use one of my actions for him to discover the vaccine, and then I have to go to the factory, and once there is an action I can manufacture the vaccine, and that's how I win the game. Now I'm playing solo, so I have to start with the scientist. He's going to take up one of my backpack slots, and I can't sneak past monsters while I have him with me, which will make this game a little more difficult. So I've set up the scavenge decks according to what you see here, and I have our 24 map tiles, which I will be building our map. I will show you how that's done. So this is from the Gothic Horror expansion, this scenario. Now to make it a little thematic, I've decided to go with the priest today, 20 health, 6 sneak. And I can restore 1 health when I draw a card from my deck, which I'm going to need. I have my hunger track set at 1, my actions set at 4. Here is the priest miniature that came with the Legendary Edition Kickstarter version, which I have with all of the expansions. And my health tracker set at 20. I will also be playing with the day-night cards. This will just make it a little more difficult. So I'll give these a quick shuffle, ignoring the top one, and you'll see how they work as the game progresses. Okay. Here are my scavenge decks, red, green and blue. Here is my monster deck. Because I am increasing the difficulty a bit, I've put 4 allies in here that I have a chance of getting at some point. You will see how that works if I ever do draw them. Give that a shuffle and a cut. Okay, here are our map tiles. I'm going to shuffle these all up and lay them out kind of randomly to form the map at the top of the screen here. And I will show you how these map tiles kind of work as the game progresses. So I'll just put that there like that, and then I'll lay them out in a random kind of grid. Try and get a little bit closer. Let's put one there. You can set these out any way you want. You just have to make sure that each map tile is touching the edge of at least one other map tile. And then however you want to lay them out is entirely up to you. So let's make this a little fun, a little more difficult, I guess. We'll see how this kind of plays out. My OCD is kicking in. And we'll put our van tile just at the top there, and that will be where we start the game. So you can see kind of right at the top here. Now if you look at this tile, we have a number here. At the beginning of each turn I'll roll 2 dice, and if this number ever comes up, I have to put a monster token down on that map tile. So we'll put him up there, and we are going to start there. Okay, now because I'm playing solo, I'll be using some but not all of the solo rules. So it says if you're playing with one character, change all long range cards that deal damage to mid range and round the damage listed on the card by half, rounded up. I will be doing this. This will make long range weapons and cards usable in true solo without making them too powerful. We also suggest that true solo players expand their storage to 6 slots instead of 4. I will not be doing that. And scavenge cards don't count towards the hand limit. I won't be doing that either. I will only have 3 backpack slots because of the priest. And I will be having scavenge cards count as my hand limit of 10. So, turn reference, spawn monsters, draw a card. We can take 4 actions. We can move, draw a card, play a card, take a card action or scavenge. Free action once per turn, discard 2 cards to draw a card. Trade, doesn't matter. Fuel up the van or drop off cards to the objective, that one doesn't matter. We increase our hunger, and in the end turn we take damage, and you will see how that all works. Here are the ranges. So short range is just your space. Mid range is this cross. Long range, you usually can't target the space that you currently occupy. That's why we are treating long range as mid range, but half damage rounded up. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to move the camera up a little bit, and I'm going to zoom in on the map. Hold on a second. Let me just fix that. Camera work is really dodgy. Okay, going to zoom in on the map, and then so you can see. Okay. So I want you to be able to see the map a little bit more. So the first thing we do is we draw our starting hand of 4 cards. So I'll give this a shuffle. Four. There we go. We'll just do it like that, whatever. So we have our protective ward. So this is an instant. Choose a character. That character is immune to damage and status effects until the start of my next turn. We have a holy book, which costs 2 hands or 2 backpack slots. As an action, we remove a monster token from any tile. Communion, reduce hunger by 2 and restore 1 health. And incense burner, deal 3 damage to all monsters attached to you short range. Now we have our hands. We also have to start with a monster card. Basically our van is loud and noisy and it has attracted a monster. So our first monster is the Succubus. She has 11 health, deals 4 damage, and she drains life. So if I don't kill her and she damages me, then she will restore health to herself. That is not a great card to get straight away. So drain life, causes damage to a monster to restore that much health. So that is pretty bad unless I can find a way to deal a lot of damage to her in one hit. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to equip my incense burner. So I now have used up 3 of my 4 backpack slots. Okay, this is pretty bad camera work today, but I don't have a lot of table space here, so I'm kind of working with what I got. I think I might just keep focused on the map, and we'll go from there. Before I did that, I was supposed to have spawned a monster. There is no 10 on the board, so I don't have to do that. So I've used one action to equip the incense burner. Now it does 3 damage to all monsters attached with you. She has 11 health. I'm going to have to get rid of her. So I'm going to do the last of my 3 actions to do 9 damage to her. And that is my turn done. I didn't move. I didn't get a chance to do anything. So now we increase hunger. My hunger is at 1. I increase hunger to 2 on my hunger track. And we take damage. Remember, the Succubus does 4 damage a turn. So I'm going to go from 20 down to 16 health, and she will restore 4 health. And then we start the round again. Rolling. That is a 7. We only have a 6 on the board. So I'm going to use 2 actions to deal 6 damage to the Succubus. The Succubus has 11 health, so she has been defeated. I'm going to use my next action to move down. When we move, we reveal the tile. We have a factory. Reveal, add a monster token to all adjacent tiles. Well, that sucks. So I've used 3 actions, but we add a monster token to all adjacent tiles. So there is a monster token on the floor, of course. So we have 1 at the van and a monster token at these unrevealed tiles. So that is my 3rd action was to move, and my 4th action is scavenge. So I'm going to take the blue deck. This is the last time I shuffle this, and I scavenge some ammunition. What I failed to do actually, at the beginning of the turn after you spawn a monster, you should draw a card, so I need to draw 2 extra cards. Doesn't help me, but that is okay. We get Prayer and Desert Eagle. Okay. I have no monsters in front of me. As you can see, I raise hunger by 1. No monsters. So we go to the spawn a monster step. And we got 7. Van has a 6. And the factory has a 4. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is use, whoops, I have to draw a card, of course, always forget that. First thing I'm going to do is Prayer, remove a monster token from each adjacent tile. So I discard that, and we get rid of all of these monster tokens. I'm looking for an old book, antidote and medical supplies. You usually don't find these on blue spaces, you usually find them on the green or the red. Okay. For my second action, I'm going to equip the Desert Eagle. This has 3 ammunition on it, and I can deal 6 damage to a target. So now I cannot carry anything else unless I discard a card. Unless I discard a card, I can't carry anything else. So that was my second action. My third action is going to be Communion. I'm going to lower my hunger by 2 and heal 1 health. So I go from 16 to 17. And for my next action, I'm just going to move, and we get the Forest. If you move again this turn, draw a monster. I'm not going to move again because I have no actions left, so I don't have to draw a monster. So that kind of worked out well. So hunger goes up from 1 to 2, and I have no enemies in front of me, so we start the turn again. Okay, so I got 5. Now the Forest has 5 up here, so we get a monster. Because I'm on the space, it automatically comes to me, and we have a Ghoul, 5 health, 2 damage, and it will poison me when it damages me. Okay, draw a card, and I get Arcane Knowledge. Look at the top 3 cards of any deck, draw 1 and discard the others. That could be helpful. There is no, if you look at the tile, we don't have a coloured circle here, so you cannot scavenge in the forest. There is nothing to find. First action, I'm going to use my Desert Eagle to deal 6 damage to a target, spending 1 of my ammunition tokens and killing the Ghoul straight up. Don't want to worry about that. Okay, I guess I'll just keep heading down. I just realised as well that I haven't even been using the day-night cards, so I'm just not going to bother. I thought I would to make it harder, but then I completely forgot about them, so it doesn't really matter. I might do it in a next playthrough, but I'll leave them up there anyway. I found a tunnel. I can move to another revealed tunnel space. So that was 1, 2, 3. I reveal a gas station, which has a free scavenge ability. And I get fuel. Immediately equip as a free action or discard. I don't have a free hand, so I'm just going to discard it. But I will scavenge again as my final action. Finding spare parts. Okay. Hunger goes up by 1, so it went from 2 to 3. I have no enemies in front of me, so I just roll. And I got an 11. 6, 4, 5, 4, 4. So nothing happens. First action. First of all, I draw a card. Whoops. Another arcane knowledge. Okay, I'm going to play Arcane Knowledge to look at top 3 cards of any deck, draw 1 and discard the others. I'm going to look at the green Scavenge deck. I will shuffle it first because I haven't. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I'm looking for an old book, antidote, and medical supplies. Food, medical supplies, backpack. Well, I will take the medical supplies and I will discard the food. I really didn't want to do that. That's okay. So that was my first action. Second action, I will move to reveal a farm. And I get food. Third action, I'm going to eat the food to reduce my hunger by 1. And fourth action, I'm going to scavenge again, and I come up empty-handed, and I can no longer scavenge at this farm. So I'm going to put a little star there to show that I cannot scavenge at the farm anymore. Hunger track goes from 2 to 3. Roll my dice. Getting 11 again. Nothing happens there. And I draw a card before I start my turn. And we get another blessing. Okay, I'm just going to keep moving. For my first action, I go into a forest. If I move again this turn, I have to draw a monster. I am going to move and draw a monster. So for the first action I moved, and I'm going to want to move again, and if I do it means I have to draw a monster. Alternatively, I can stay here and I can discard as a free action. I'm going to discard my 2 blessing cards to draw a card. That doesn't cost an action. I get more arcane knowledge. So I have 3 actions left. I'm going to use arcane knowledge to look at the top 3 cards of the green deck again. We have an ambush and 2 food, so I'm going to discard those 2 and I'm going to take this food. So that was my second action. Third action, I'm going to play the food to reduce my hunger by 2. And I don't want a monster coming out, so last action I'm going to use arcane knowledge again, but this time I'm going to go for the blue deck. And we get ammunition, dusty book and fuel. Of course, I'm going to take the dusty book, which means I now have 2 of the 3 items that I need to complete this scenario. Hunger goes up by 1. I am from 1 to 2 now. I have no enemies in front of me. Let's see if I spawn an enemy. 5. Yes, indeed. We get, in the forest, gets a monster token. Okay, draw a card, and I get a rosary. Move up to 2 monster tokens to an adjacent space. Not bad. I've never played with the priest before. I'm realizing he's really good at manipulating the board. I have to find antidotes. I'm going to move up. We get a gas station that gets a free scavenge. And we find food. I'm going to hold on to that food actually. So I have 8 cards in hand. 5, 6, 7, 8. I need to keep those 2. Okay. Okay, so we got the free scavenge. Let's do one more scavenge here. Getting fuel, which I cannot carry, so I'll discard it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's keep going. Let's move up here to the police station where we get a free blue scavenge. And we get ammunition. Pretty good. We have 9 cards. And what are we going to do at the police station? Can I play any of these? Let's eat our food to lower our hunger by 1. Okay. Hunger goes up, back to 2. We roll. We have more spaces open on the board, so there's more of a chance of getting monster spawns. And we got a 5. So we get a monster in the forest, and I believe there is a 5 at the gas station as well. If we go back to those spaces, then we are going to have to deal with those monsters. But so far we've been pretty lucky. Draw a card. And I get another Desert Eagle, which I don't really need. So as a free action, I'm going to discard Holy Book and Desert Eagle to draw a card. And we get another Holy Book. Well, that was a waste of time, wasn't it? Okay, I want to need to find antidote. Let's scavenge. And we get spare parts, which we don't need. So that was 1 action. Do I want to go this way? I need to find the hospital. 2 to move, and we find a swamp. So we have to make a test. Add a monster token to the tile if we success. If we succeed, sorry. If we fail, activate all monsters in front of you. We want to fail this because we don't have any monsters in front of us. So a test, we look at this. On 2 dice, we have to roll this or lower, which is not ruddy likely, but we shall see. And we got an 8. So we activate all monsters in front of us. We actually have none, so that worked out pretty well for us. Okay, so that was scavenge was 1 action. Move was 1 action. Let's move across to here. and we found the hospital. Okay. And for our final action, let's scavenge and we find medical supplies. Okay. Hunger goes up by 1. We are now at 3 hunger. We have no creatures in front of us. Let's see if we spawn. 9. 6, 4, 5, 4, 4, 3, 8, 5, 6, 8. Nope, we don't spawn a monster. Okay. Draw a card. We are now over our card limit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we are going to get rid of the spare parts. Okay, I'm going to play this collar. So I'm going to get rid of the incense burner and play the collar now. So you can see I have 1, 2, 3, and I still have an empty spot there. Okay, next action is we are going to scavenge. We found dynamite. Let's third action. Let's play the rosary. And final action, let's scavenge. Looking for the antidote, which I don't find. Okay. Hunger goes up to 4. No monsters in front of us. 5 gets monster tokens. The forest is now full. You can only have 3 monster tokens on there, on a tile, and the gas station now has 2. Okay, first action, I'm going to use medical supplies to restore 3 health, bringing me back up to 20, my maximum. I'm going to scavenge, finding fuel, which I cannot use. Scavenge, empty-handed, and we can no longer scavenge at the hospital, which is pretty bad. So I'm going to have to move on. Let's go this way. Finding the open field. Okay. When we reveal, we draw a monster, and if we end our turn here, we draw a monster, which we are going to do, so we're going to get 2 monsters in front of us. We get another succubus, and we get a ghoul. Okay. So you can see how quickly this game can turn. I have 2 of the 3 things I need. I am right next to the hospital, and all of a sudden I am being attacked by a ghoul and a succubus right there. Alright. My hunger also goes up by 1. I am right on the cusp now. 1 more. If I don't get my hunger down, I'm going to start starving. Okay. Damage. Succubus is going to attack for 4, and she's going to drain life, but she is not damaged. So I go down to 16 health. The ghoul is going to attack for 2, but he is going to poison me. So I go down to 14. And I get a poison counter. What does the poison counter mean? At the end of every turn, take poison damage equal to the number of counters on your character. This is a status effect. And that will kick in at the beginning of our next turn, unless I can find something to help. Okay. First action, I'm going to spend an ammunition to deal 6 damage to the ghoul, killing it. Second action, I'm going to deal 6 damage to the succubus. The succubus is now on 5 damage. Or now has, taken 6 damage, there's 5 health left. Third action, I have no ammunition in the Desert Eagle, so I'm going to use ammunition to fully reload a weapon. And final action, I'm going to kill the succubus. Okay. Problem here. I forgot to draw a card, of course, always do. Here's the problem. I am ending on the open field, which means I draw a monster and we get a vampire with drain life. I take a damage because I have 1 poison counter on my character, so I'm going down to 13. I take a hunger. Now you can see that I am now in the red with my hunger die. That means I am starving. Wait a second. There we go. And when you're starving, flip over your character card and you don't get the bonus. I haven't been doing this either, restoring a health. I've been forgetting, but whatever. It's all good. It's all good. So I might actually do that now. I'm just going to restore 1 health. Yeah, 14. It's not going to make a difference. And because I am starving, I'm in the red, I take 2 damage. Or I would, but I'm immune to hunger, damage, and status effects. So I'm actually immune to the poison. That's interesting. Okay, the vampire is going to bite me now, dealing 3 damage, putting me at 11. Okay. Roll to see 10. We don't have a 10 on the board, so that's pretty good. Draw a card. After we draw a card, we of course heal. We don't actually, because we've flipped over our character card, so we don't get that. Okay, so I'm going to do communion first. Reduce hunger by 2 and restore 1 health for all players. My hunger goes back down to 4, which means I can flip over. And I restore a health, putting me at 12. So that was first action. I'm getting out of here. So second action, I'm going to move. I'm at the garden. Third action, I'm going to play Protective Ward, which makes me immune to damage and status effects until the start of my next turn, so the vampire can't damage me. And fourth, I'm going to shoot the vampire for 6 damage. He has 13 health. So I just hit him for 6. And my turn has ended. The Garden special ability is I cure all status effects, so I get rid of my poison. My hunger, however, does go up by 1. The vampire does not damage me because of my protective ward, so he doesn't drain any life. Okay, we roll to see where a monster will spawn, and we get 5. Can't spawn in the forest, will spawn in the gas station, and the garden is also 5. And of course we get another vampire. Okay. First action, I'm going to shoot this vampire, the one that I'd already wounded, doing another 6 damage, putting him at 12. I'm going to play my ammunition card. It's my second action, which will reload my gun. Third action, I'm going to shoot and kill that wounded vampire. And final action, I'm going to scavenge and hope I find an antidote. Nope, more ammunition. And when I drew a card, I should have healed 1. Okay. Hunger. So I flip my priest card over. I'm at 2. I need to eat. I need food. Vampire is going to attack me. We don't have the protective ward anymore, so I take 3 damage there. And now we roll to see if we spawn another monster on 7. There is no 7 on the map. I draw a card. Okay, so I picked up Exorcism. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. First thing I'm going to do, use my medical supplies to heal 3 health. Putting me up to 13. Then I'm going to scavenge, finding food. Then I'm going to eat the food, which will reduce my hunger by 3. Putting me down to 3 on the hunger track, letting me flip my card over again. Okay, and why not scavenge again? Getting ammunition. Okay, raise hunger by 1. Vampire is going to bite me for 3 damage, but he's not wounded, so he doesn't drain any life. Roll our dice. 7. There is no 7 on the board, so that is good. We draw a card. And because we drew a card, we can heal a health. I'm actually remembering to do that now. Okay, first 2 actions. I'm going to shoot the Desert Eagle twice, doing 12 damage to the vampire. Third action, I'm going to play my ammunition card to reload the Desert Eagle. And fourth action, I'm going to shoot to kill the vampire. The Desert Eagle, of course, if you remember, does 6 damage to a target. Okay, hunger goes up by 1. We have 9 cards. We are sticking around in the garden. 7 again. No monsters there. Draw a card. We get our collar. Heal our health. Okay, as a free action, I'm going to discard the staff and the collar to draw a card, and we get the power of prayer. Second action, scavenge. spare parts. Third action, scavenge. We get fuel. Fourth action, scavenge. We get more fuel, which I'm just discarding. I don't think there's an antidote in here. Hunger goes up. I'm in the red, so I have to flip. So you can see that whenever this goes into the red, you have to flip your character card over, and you no longer get the benefit of the passive ability on that character card. Okay, but I don't take damage because of my collar. 11. There is no 11 on the board. Okay, draw a card. Please be rosary, whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will discard the spare parts. First action, let's just keep scavenging for food. Second action, I'm going to eat the food to reduce my hunger. Third action, scavenge. We get a dusty book, which we don't actually need. So I'll discard that, too many cards in my hand. Fourth action, let's move here and hope it is something good. Reveal, discard 3 cards, and when I end there I discard a card at the amusement park, but I can scavenge from any deck. So we have to discard 4 cards. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Dynamite's good. Okay. We can discard 2 prayers, a rosary, and spare parts. Hunger goes up by 1. Again, flip the card over. I'm starving. No monsters. Roll. And we get 8 this time. 6 and 2. We get a monster token on the swamp. Monster token on the open field. Monster token in the forest. Okay. Draw a card, which is a blessing. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scavenge I should say. We get ammunition. I'm going to scavenge again. Second action, we get our antidotes. Excellent. We now have the antidote, the medical supplies, and the dusty book. Which you remember, collect an old book, 1 antidote and 1 medical supplies, and get the scientist to the hospital. So, third action, coming down here. Fourth action, I'm having the scientists discover the vaccine, which I assume means I have to discard all of these, but we now have the vaccine, and all we have to do is get to the factory and we are home free. But I'm still starving, so my hunger goes up. No enemies in front of me. 7, nothing. Draw a card. Protective ward. Okay. Let's just make a run for it. I don't want to... Oh, do I have anything that can move a monster token? I'm going to use my dynamite to to remove all monster tokens from a tile in range. Swamp. That's 1. Going to move to the swamp. 2. I have to make a check here. 7 is higher than 6, so we activate all monsters in front of us, which we don't have. So that was 2, 3, and 4. Finding the mountains. And I can draw a card when I enter the mountains. We get an incense burner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Hunger goes up by 1. I am almost dead. 7, 8. Let's see. There is a forest down here. Swamp gets another one. I just ran through there. Open field gets another one. And I draw a card. Getting exorcism. Okay. First action. I'm moving to here, which is the mountains, allowing me to draw a card. Getting communion. Second action. Move to here. Third action, I'm going to actually eat something, I think, just to lower my hunger by 2 and heal a health. And fourth action, proceed to the factory. I'm at the factory. As an action, I can manufacture the vaccine there to win. So I actually managed to win the game there. Few little hiccups. I wish I'd used the day-night deck. This is really cool. At the end of your turn, you flip it over, something happens, and then here all the monster tokens would move in the direction. But maybe next time, if I decide to continue, there are actually 4 scenarios to this like mini campaign against the vampires. So there you go. This was Maximum Apocalypse with my lovely neoprene mat. I might actually just go a little bit closer so you can see the final board setup there. It was a bit far away, but that's what the board looks like. There's a few tiles I didn't explore, didn't need to, just had to get to the hospital and then to the factory. Okay, great game. You do have in the legendary edition, there are an absolute ton of character decks, different monsters you can go up against, zombies, bugs, Cthulhu, kaiju monsters, whatever you feel like. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please excuse if I did make any mistakes, but you get an idea of how the game works. I'm sorry I couldn't show everything on the video itself. I had to keep kind of moving the camera, but that's just the way things are. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.